welcome back to Focal Point AFR Talk, free for all Friday. We're going to take your phone calls today, try to increase the number that we take. And so let's start off. I'm going to change gears on you, Rob. We'll do content toward the second half of this segment. Let's go ahead and take some more phone calls. Let's go to Danny, Tampa, Florida. Danny, welcome to Focal Point with Brian Fisher. Miss seeing you while I was there on your home turf. Anyway, welcome to...
I wanted to meet you, but I did. It's so weird, Brian. I'm telling you right now. By the way, I'm your friendly leftist. So.
All right.
So anyway, it's so weird because there's a guy who was in '68 in Chicago and met Abby and Jerry in the Chicago 7. You know, they expect, the way they spent $50 million here for all this money that the taxpayers, paid for.
Mm-hmm.
We thought, well, I'm glad nothing happened. We're so proud of we think we have the greatest police chief here in the country, Jane Castor.
Uh-huh.
She's incredible. I'm telling you right now. And, she's an out-and-out Democrat and a lesbian. And she outed herself. And I tell you what, other than that, I don't care about that. She's just, our police department, they had 3 or 4 times where the protesters, it looked like it could get ugly. And I tell you, 2 arrests. We want to be the model for the rest of the country.
Well, and I'll tell you, Danny, it was, I didn't complain about the security, frankly, because in my mind, look, this is a private event. This is the GOP. Now, they're using taxpayer dollars, and that's a problem for me. I'll be honest with you, Danny. I don't like to see taxpayer dollars spent on political conventions. If they want to have a political convention, then get your own money to do that. Don't siphon money. I mean, Danny, you're not a Republican, but you had to pay for what happened in Tampa.
I'm left of some of my friends, Democrats. But anyway, let me get real quick. I know you have a lot of calls. Last night, I'm going to tell you the truth, and I'm going to call him as I see him. I'm going to vote for Obama. I don't like a lot of things he's done. I'm disappointed. But when I look, I'm sorry, Brian. I'm not into social conservatives, okay? And the Michelle Bachmans and probably people who think, all due respect, you scare me. Romney, I'm not scared of. Romney, I know is a moderate to liberal. He doesn't fool me. I know his history. His father walked out on Goldwater in '64. Goldwater, they had a thing, and young Mitt Romney learned moderate liberal tactics from his dad and all that. Basically. So
okay,
I understand
Danny,
that. It would be he himself would not scare me. It'd be the placating to the Michelle Bachmans, who I can't stand, those people. But
all right, well, Danny, hang on. I want you to hang on because I want to play a soundbite for you. Let's grab clip number 6. I want to play a soundbite for you from Mitt Romney's speech last night. Now, what I'm hearing from you, Danny, is that when Mitt Romney says socially conservative things, you don't believe the words that are coming out of his mouth. You don't believe that it's in his heart. Let me play this one soundbite, and I want to get your reaction to it. This is Mitt Romney in his acceptance speech last night, talking about the socially conservative values he will embrace, defend, and promote as president. Let's listen.
Everywhere I go in America, there are monuments that list those who have given their lives for America.
Rob.
There's no mention of their race.
Let's stop that one there. That is that's the second Romney clip. I don't know if we got him out of sequence on the rundown. Do we have another Romney clip there? I'm looking at the one that starts Okay, let's see. Maybe we got those out of sequence in the rundown. Is this one a Romney clip? Okay, let's go ahead and let's try it. See if this is one we're looking for. Go ahead.
Everywhere I go in America.
Nah, it's the same one. So I guess we got that one twice. All right, now here, Danny, is what Mitt Romney said. I don't think we've got that in the rundown, but here's what he said. As president, I will protect the sanctity of life. I will honor the institution of marriage, and I will guarantee America's first liberty, the freedom of religion. So what's your reaction to that?
It kind of scares me because basically that means you would be placating to the Michelle Bachmans and the theocracy that you guys would like to envision in a country like this.
So do you think when you hear Mitt say that, do you think he actually means it? I mean, I heard you say that you don't trust him.
But I'm glad you asked me. No, I don't, because I know his history. He was for this, for pro-choice. Rocky Anderson says it all depends which Mitch Romney. They're good friends. Rocky Anderson says it all depends which Mitch Romney you're talking about, because he could be a completely different person. And Kerry was a flip-flopper. This guy's a flip-flopper. I know that. I know you guys are excited about Ryan because he's the more conservative one, but no, I don't buy anything that he says.
Let me ask you this, Danny. You said that we frighten you.
Mm-hmm.
What about us frightens you?
The fact that you, like I say, you all would basically your thing about, well, first of all about guns. I know the right wing and you yourself are, and I have a right wing friend of mine. I'm not into guns. I don't think people should have assault weapons. Under Romney and the administration, there's nobody, not even Obama, is willing to take on the NRA.
Well, Danny, let me ask. Let me interject here. You mentioned, Danny. Let me interject here. You mentioned guns. Do you believe, support, and defend the Constitution of the United States?
I believe that the Second Amendment has been warped by, and misinterpreted by a lot of you people.
Well, hold it. Well, let me ask you what you think it means then. Mm-hmm. What the Second Amendment says, it does not say the right of the military. It does not say the right of the militia. It does not say the right of law enforcement. It says, Danny, the right of the people to keep and bear, that means to carry around,
sure, I know what that means.
To keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Now, what about that, Danny, do you not understand?
First of all, they did not envision weapons that could shoot semi-automatically in the situation.
Okay.
Back then, it was
okay, Danny.
Let's
how about we just restrict it to handguns and rifles then, because that's what they had. What about that do you not understand?
First of all, I understand that you guys have misinterpreted and warped it.
No. Well, how? Well, tell me how. How have we misinterpreted it?
You're first of all, to sit there and say that any citizen should have an assault weapon that's unbelievable, Brian.
Danny, hold it. Let me interject here. That's a red herring. Let's drop the assault rifle thing. They function just like deer rifles.
No
different.
Take your gun away.
No, they don't function any differently than deer rifles. But let's leave assault rifles out of the equation. Okay. Let's talk about handguns and rifles.
Nobody wants to take your gun away and your rifle. Nobody wants to do that. But the second the Marion Hammers and the Wayne LaPierres they're scaring this country. There's too many guns.
Danny, wait, you're not Danny. Hold it, Danny. If we're going to have this conversation, you have got to answer my questions, my friend, or I'll have to let you go.
Okay, go ahead.
The Constitution says, and let's just restrict it to handguns and rifles to keep you happy, the kind of weapons that the Founding Fathers had and were obviously thinking about.
Right.
It says the right of the people, the people, Danny, that's you, that's me, that's your next-door neighbor, the right of the people to keep. That means to hold. That means to possess. That means to buy. And to bear, that means to carry around with you, shall not be infringed. Danny, what about that do you not understand? Those are simple words. A third grader can understand those words.
I understand it, Brian. Please don't try to insult me. I understand exactly what you're saying.
Well, do you agree with it? Do you agree with it?
Yes, I do.
Well, then what are we arguing about?
Because I'm trying to tell you, asked me about what is my social concerns. I don't want the gun thing to get out of hand. There's a lot of people. I heard you say the other day it's a right to have assault weapons, Brian.
Well, they don't function Danny, they don't function any differently than deer rifles.
Brian, I mean, as a shot, you could take so many rounds to so many magazines like that killer in Aurora.
Hey, the only difference between an assault rifle and a deer rifle that has a cartridge is the way the gun looks. They function exactly the same. You can get a deer rifle that's got a clip with rounds in it, and they function exactly the same. We're not talking about automatic weapons here. We're talking about semi-automatic weapons.
Yeah, but they can be converted on. Anyway, Brian, we're not going to go nowhere with this. Let me ask you something real quick. No, we're not going to agree. But basically, by the way, I thought Clint Eastwood, I didn't get to that, was lame. It didn't work. It was like a bad Saturday Night Live skit. My friend, I'm telling you, Rod, it did not. And when he
said... Danny, I'll tell you something. Let me interject here. I'll tell you something. I completely agree with you. I thought that was totally lame and completely ineffective. If anybody but Clint Eastwood had been doing that, he would have gotten laughed off the stage.
He's not even a great actor, that dirty. He isn't even that. It wasn't that good of a choice.
All right. Anyway, get to your point.
Okay, my point. I want to ask you a sports question.
Shoot.
Okay. You're a Giants fan?
San Francisco Giants?
Yes.
Oh yeah, big time.
We can't even agree with that. I was a Dodger fan. Sandy Koufax was my idol. Let me ask you, who was your football team growing up?
San Francisco 49ers.
So you're all San Francisco all the way.
Oh, big time. You bet.
Yeah. What did you think of Johnny Unitas as a quarterback?
The Baltimore Colts.
What did you think of him?
Oh, I loved him. When I was younger, before we moved to California, I was a Colts fan because I lived in Colorado. We didn't have any major league franchises at that time.
Same
so
here.
I was a big-time Baltimore Colts fan because of Johnny Unitas and Raymond Berry, his wide receiver, who was a very strong believer in Christ. So I was a Colts fan. I love Johnny U. Anyway, what's your point with all that?
Oh, I know, because we're not going to agree on anything else. I just wanted to keep it light today on a Friday because you know what? I like you. You're a nice guy, and I would love to meet you. We just don't agree. I would one day, hopefully, I could get together and meet you.
All right, Danny. Well, listen, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Weekend.
Good call. All right, let's grab one more call before the break. Let's go. So I am Ellen Ratner told me, remember she told me to my face with a smile on her face that I am her favorite homophobe. She couldn't dislike me. There's nothing here to a dislike. I'm harmless. So I am her favorite homophobe, and for Danny, I would be his favorite. What would I be? What favorite gunmonger? Favorite? I don't know what they think of people that believe people ought to be able to bear guns. But anyway, I'm his favorite one of those, whatever they are. Let's go to Dave, Glen Allen, Georgia. Glenn, welcome to Focal Point with Brian Fisher. What's on your mind? Got about 60 seconds. Dave, are you with me?
This is Dave from Glen Allen, Virginia.
You bet. Oh, Virginia. Okay, sorry about that.
Listen, you misquoted George Pullman last week.
Who is George Pullman?
George Pullman was the inventor of the Pullman Car Company.
And you may be confused. I didn't quote George Pullman last week. Maybe it was somebody else. But anyway, finish your thought.
You quoted John F. Kennedy of saying not ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country.
Correct.
And George Pullman, way before John Kennedy, said ask not what your company can do for you, but what you can do for your company.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You can straighten out that quote anytime somebody brings it up to you again.
All right, what you're basically saying is JFK or his speechwriter kind of pilfered that from George Pullman.
He sure did.
All right, well that's one of our little interesting Friday factoids. All right, Dave, listen, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And here's another fun Friday factoid. And again, this is a one-stop shop. You get it all here at Focal Point. We run the gamut. I'm concerned about your health. Here is late breaking news from the BBC. Chocolate may protect your brain from stroke. When we come back, I'll explain all of the delicious details. Focal Point AFR Talk. Stay with us.